Hello and welcome to the latest MK Web, MK Don's sports podcast. I'm Dan Palmer. I'm here with Scott Kirk as always. How's things?
Yes, not too bad. How are you?
Yeah, very well, thank you. We didn't really get the result we wanted on Saturday, did we? We could have pushed it to level on points with Peterborough in the last playoff spot and potentially even go above them with a 2-0 win or better on the goal difference. But as it stands, a 2-0 defeat, and now the gap's back to 6 points, and Posh obviously have a game in hand. So
yeah,
it's starting to look. We were very hopeful last week, weren't we? But it's starting to look a bit trickier again now.
Yeah, you'll notice the different tone in my voice probably this week. It was so exciting last week, just that prospect. I mean, even a draw keeps it within sort of 3 points, doesn't it? And 6 points off now. So you're sort of thinking with the running, Dons have. It's looking unlikely, but let's not forget Peterborough have got a tough week or two here.
Yeah.
I think they're playing Rotherham and Preston their next two games, and then they've got the JPT I think the week after that. So by that point, Peterborough will have 2 games in hand on Dons, but they're not easy games by a long way. Rotherham and Preston. And you look at Dons are playing Stevenage. All right, they're on a bit of a resurgence at the moment. And Gillingham as well, who don't really have anything to play for now, which is exactly the sort of team I think you want to be playing at this time of the season. So they could get that deficit back by, I'm saying could, I know, but they could get that deficit back by next Tuesday. Then Dons are at home to Wolves. I mean, that's a huge game, that. But Dons are at home to Wolves. I don't think Peterborough have actually got a game that day. So it could all be different again by next week. It could be level on points again by next week and relying on a victory over Wolves. But, it's a blow, obviously, like when they're the sole. They can't catch anybody else up. They can't catch Rotherham up now. So there's only Peterborough to catch up. So them beating Dons is a big blow. But, it's happened and... you can't. There's certainly no reason for Dons to chuck the towel in at all yet. We don't know what sort of run Peterborough are going to go on now, and it's a big opportunity on Saturday to bounce back.
Yeah, I mean we've ruled them out so many times, and they're still clinging on for the coattails of promotion.
Yeah.
If you like. So I mean you never know, do you? It was a bit of a shame how the game. It got away from us on Saturday. It was 0-0 for so long, and then in a blink of an eye, suddenly 2-0 down, and
I think
game over.
I think Peterborough were the better team, but the referee was poor. Some of the decisions were just mind-boggling. It wasn't a penalty at all. It's a dive, and Carl was. I totally agreed with Carl's comments about Giorgio Rossillo being pretty much assaulted. Yeah, he's hitting the ball and he has absolutely wiped him out in the box. And I think if that's outside of the box, it's a free kick. I'm sure I would have given that. So why he's not given a penalty? I don't. It was only just inside the box, but still, it was just atrocious. And I thought that there was a handball before that, just after half time. Alan Smith had a shot, could have been handball for that. Dele Alli's could have been a penalty. It looked a little bit like a dive from where we sat in the media room, but then, it could have been caught as well. So, I don't sound like I'm blaming the referee, obviously, because Dons didn't create enough chances really on Saturday, but they could have quite easily had 3 penalties, I think, in that second half, and and they got one against them, which wasn't a penalty. So, fair dues to Peterborough's first goal. Osson Bolonga's done very well. Good shot, and he's just poached it in. Really, just got stuck his toe on the end of it. But yeah, it was just a real shame. And like you say, the game just got away from them a little bit. 2 goals in 3 minutes completely flattened them, I think. And after that, I don't think there was any way they were going to get back into it.
I think the referee, Mr. Crouch, wasn't it? He's known for being card happy. He likes to reach into his pocket.
He certainly was.
That seemed to happen. I'm surprised that it lasted at 11v11. To be honest, with him officiating, he likes to send people to the tunnel. Got a bit of a reputation for that. So
which I don't like at all. It stops the game from flowing, and it wasn't that sort of game though. Like, I know it was a rivalry, and it wasn't the sort of game where you needed cards brandished out here, there, and everywhere. It was, it just wasn't that sort of game. It didn't need that level of bookings and that. So yeah, it was. I've seen better refereeing performances, to be honest.
Mm.
So.
Yeah, and then a bit of transfer news, or two bits of transfer news this week. One in, one out. Should we start with the out? A bit of a surprise switch. Luke Chadwick, twice Player of the Year at Dons. Very influential over the past couple of seasons. Not so much this season. He's gone on loan to. He's actually dropped into the non-league to join Cambridge United, or his boyhood club, the team he supported growing up, and they're right in the hunt to be promoted from the Conference to League Two, very likely via a final at Wembley if they are going to do it, because Luton are so many points clear at the top of the table and there's only one automatic spot. What do you make of that? I think it's I really respect him for doing that, dropping down 2 divisions to play for his boyhood club. He's talking about he wears the Cambridge replica kits and now he's wearing one in an actual game, and it's really special for him, and he's always had this dream to play for them. I fully understand it. Not many people would drop down 2 levels like he has when he's played for Manchester United in the Champions League in the past. So I wish him all the best. He's not been contributing for Dons as much as he has been, so I think it's a good move for both parties, really.
I think so. I think Ben Rees is in that role now, and he's been superb in that role this season. Dele Alli scored a hat-trick from that role.
Yeah.
When Dons played Notts County, and Giorgio Rasulo came on and did pretty well in that role. He's got some real skills as well. So I think it's a good time for him to move, and I've got, so much respect for Luke Chadwick. A lot of players, I think it's been his dream to play for Cambridge United. So, I'm sure they'd have taken him a long time before now, but it's fair play to him. That's a dream he's always had, something he's always wanted to do, and if he gets the opportunity to not lead, he will be leading the side out, but if he gets the opportunity to play for them at Wembley, as you said there, that's going to be a massive draw for him. When he's not really getting in the Dons team, and it's a Dons team that are they going to get the playoffs? It's going to be unlikely, but if they are, it's probably not, in all honesty, because of Chadwick. So, massive respect for him, and his move there to help. I think it helps the youngsters as well. Coming through at Dons. But he played on Tuesday night, didn't he, Chadwick?
Yeah, he played 90 minutes. They beat Welling 2-1.
Yeah, so it's I think it's a really, really nice thing, and we're speaking to Carl Robinson about it. Carl couldn't praise Luke Chadwick enough, really. Just saying that it was one of the most genuine people you'll probably ever meet in the game, and and I think he actually said at the time that he would be welcome back in any would always be welcome back at Dons as maybe a coach or something like that in the future, which could be an option, but he's always wanted to play for his boyhood club, and you've got to have respect for that. I think it's fantastic that he wants to join them, and at such a critical phase in the club's history as well. They could be in the Football League next season, and if Chadwick can help, Cambridge do that. They were top of the table, weren't they, before Luton went on that incredible run. Form. So it's not, the Cambridge probably deserve their place already, and Luke Chadwick's only going to help that cause. I know he's getting older, maybe his legs aren't as good anymore, but you'd think, if he's dropping into that level, he's going to do some damage, you'd expect, wouldn't you, at that level, even if he has maybe dropped off the pace over the last year.
Yeah, you think he'd do very well down there.
Even a 50% Luke Chadwick, compared to how he was when he's won Player of the Year awards.
Yeah, let's say
he is that right now. I don't know if he is, because I've not seen about them. But let's say he's at 50% now of what he was when he won those Player of the Year awards. That Luke Chadwick is still going to do a good job. In school Premier.
Yeah, I still look at Cambridge as being a football league club. If you look at the Conference or the Skrill Premier, as it's known now, and there's a lot of big name clubs in that league, the likes of Luton, Wrexham, Grimsby,
Macclesfield,
all sorts of teams. It's a bit of a bottleneck, isn't it? It's so hard to get back out of it. So and it's really strange how it's maybe not strange but different how this move came about. It wasn't a case of Cambridge getting on the phone and saying, "Is Luke Chadwick available?" It was Chadwick seemed to engineer this move himself, as look, I'm available, I want to play for you.
Yeah.
and they obviously snapped their hand off.
That's very much the case, yeah. I think it was you know, a bit of a realisation that from himself that he's not going to be, you know, in the first team. He doesn't want to stand in players' way of progression, and yeah, it seemed to be engineered from the player himself, yeah, which is, you know, you'd think if you're from Cambridge's perspective, you're going to think, oh, I'll take that, definitely. You know, a player of Luke Chadwick's calibre. So yeah, unusual, but I think that's probably just a sign of the man, really. A very honest individual, and he's realised within himself, all right, I might not be able to do the job at Dons for much longer, but this is a dream.
Yeah.
Let's go. Fair play to him.
And coming in the other direction, we've got another young striker, 19-year-old James Loveridge, comes on loan for a month from Swansea City. You know, we've been looking for a replacement for Patrick Bamford. Chris Long wasn't the man to do that. Maybe Loveridge will be. But it's a very similar player. He's, I mean, from what he's done in the past, it's under 21 football, goals at that level, but no first team appearances yet in the full-time game. So, you know, hopefully you'll do a bit better than Long and adapt a little bit.
You hope so, yeah. I mean, I think we were talking about this before today about how, you know, Carl Robinson's wanting to do with, you know, Loveridge what he did with Patrick Bamford.
Yeah.
I think the problem is that Bamford, you mentioned that Bamford had already played for Notts Forest before in the first team, so he had already had that first team experience. Had he played in the first team for Notts Forest? I think so, right. So, but anyway, he's
a bit more experience.
A bit more experience, yeah. And I mean, Loveridge is a year older than Long, which is probably a key thing to mention. Long did look like looked like a boy.
Very raw.
Yeah, very raw, extremely raw. And if he'd have missed the first goal he'd ever scored, then there would have been something seriously wrong. It was the easiest goal you've ever seen in your life. So yeah, I mean, it really is going to be a time will tell. It's almost like, you know, it's in between Long and Bamford, I think, you know, in terms of, yeah, he's a year older, but he's never played first team football before, so we're going to have to, it's going to be interesting to see what he does, but, you know, even if we sort of can bed in over the next month, and if he can grab a goal or two, then they might be looking at getting him on a permanent for a full season next season, and then, you know, Swansea might be doing with him exactly what Chelsea done with Bamford. If he does well at the start of next season, could see him gone by January. So, you know, but we've got to, you know, I'd be surprised if he doesn't make his debut up top on Saturday. So unless they're thinking about just giving him maybe half an hour to begin with. I think something they were saying with Chris Long is that they plunge him straight in at the deep end. And there were so many games at that time that he just struggled to keep up physically. Yeah. So I'd expect I'd expect Dons to maybe just not play him for the full 90 minutes all the time, just maybe rein him back in a little bit, possibly start with McLeod for one or two games, you know, and switch him around with Loveridge a little bit. So, you know, I'd like to see him start against Stevenage, see what he can do.
Yeah.
And you know, it's hard to tell though. He's never played for
I
a
mean,
team before, so you can't tell what he's going to be like.
Over the last 2-3 years, there's been so many players coming into Dons on short-term loans, not really making any sort of impact and leaving again. So hopefully this won't be another one of those. And
I hope so, really. So.
Make an impression, but like I say, you don't know. He might be, he might be involved on Saturday when we make the trip to Stevenage. That's going to be a difficult game. So they're fighting for their lives at the wrong end of the table, and they've already beaten Dons at the Lime X this season in the atrocious performance in the second round of the JPT, and a bit of a local rivalry there as well. So it should be quite a good game.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a real battling one. You know, it's. I don't think Stevenage have actually lost in a while. I think they've drawn quite a few games and things like that. So Graham Wesley, he's not everyone's cup of tea, but fair play to him for. I mean, Stevenage looked down and out at one point, and now I think they're level on points, or maybe a point behind or something like that. Safety. So, you know, he's done brilliantly just to even get him in that position, and you know, now Stevenage have kind of got nothing to lose, really. You know, I think a lot of people expected them to be down. A lot of people do expect them to get relegated. Yeah. You know, when you can play with that pressure kind of off of you, that can really free you up to put in a good performance. So it's not going to be an easy game by a long, long way. And if Dons can get anything out of that game, I think it'll be a good return. The Gillingham game is going to be important next Tuesday night as well, because Gillingham don't really have much to play for now, and you'd expect Dons have still got the playoff slim sort of playoff ambitions. So I think Gillingham's going to be arguably an easier way of getting 3 points than Stevenage is going to be on Saturday.
I mean, can we have any slip-ups now? Do we need to win every game
I think
from the end of the season, really? The gap's already quite wide, isn't it? We can't...
No, well,
it's got to the stage where a point's not really enough.
No, I think you're right.
Enough anymore.
Yeah, I think it's got to be wins, hasn't it? Well, you're hoping really that Peterborough slip up. Peterborough got on a 7-match winning run. Dons have got no chance. So, it's. I think you're right. I think any slip-ups now and anything less than 2 wins on Saturday and Tuesday, and it's going to be too far maybe. So, but like I said, it's a big week for Peterborough as well. Let's not forget that.
Yeah.
And if they get 6 points out of those 2 games, then they probably hold your hands up and say that they deserve it, because they've got 2 very tough games coming up. But all Dons can do is win their games, hope that Peterborough slip up, and you never know.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Thanks so much for listening as usual. Enjoy the Stevenage and Gillingham games if you're going to those, and we will see you soon.
Yep.
Bye now.
See you later.